Hi you guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you cannot tell by the username, my name is Katie, and today is the day that I bring you guys this long awaited video. Now, for you guys that don't know what I'm talking about, for months and months and months, I have been telling my friends that I would make a video in detail about how I got my apartment for hundreds of dollars off of the quoted price. So today is the day that I go ahead and give you guys secrets to how I actually got my apartment, my luxury apartment, for hundreds of dollars off of the market value. So this is going to be probably a 3-part series depending on how well this video does. It's so much information I have to give you guys, and I can't really go into full detail the way I want to with just one video without making it extremely long. So let me know if you want to see the rest of this video by giving this video a huge thumbs up, leaving a comment down below in the comment section, and also sharing this video. And if you are not a subscriber, subscribing to the channel. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into today's video. So as you can see, I have my phone here and I have tons and tons of notes here. So it's kind of all over the place, and I hope this makes sense. So let's go ahead and start off with the obvious. How did I get hundreds of dollars off of my luxury apartment? So the way that I got my apartment for hundreds of dollars off of the market value is through a program called in-housing. Now that is not the only name that this program is known under. Throughout the video you'll see what I'm referring to, but it could be called in-housing, it could be called in-towns, efficiency. There's a bunch of different names for this particular program, but just to kind of give you a run through of what in-housing is, it's a program ran by the government through the Housing and Urban Development Department, also known as HU. It allows rental properties to offer low-income tenants a reduced rent amount by offering incentives to the apartment complex. Now, this is not to be confused with Section 8. A lot of people always ask me if it's the same thing, and it's completely different. And I'm going to go ahead and go over the differences throughout the video as well, but just to kind of give you guys an overall basis of the difference of in-housing and Section 8. For in-housing, you're going to need to apply directly through the Rental Properties Management Office, and keep in mind not every apartment has this specific program, so you are going to have to do lots and lots of research to figure out which apartment's accepted, and then you still have to meet all of the standard requirements of the apartment, just at a lower scale. So you're still going to need to pass a background check, you're still going to need to pass a credit check, you're still going to have to make between 2 to 3 times the monthly amount for the rent, the monthly amount of rent. So most of the times with these kind of programs, it's 2.5. But I have ran into some apartments where you still have to make 3 times the rent, and there are very few where you have to make 2 times the rent. So it just depends, again, on the area and the apartment itself. Also going to have to pay all the fees up front. That's really the only difference between like a regular rented apartment in this program, is that you get a reduced amount on the rent itself, but again, everything else is the exact same. Now, as I mentioned, this is a program directly through the Housing and Urban Development Department, also known as the HUD. They do have 3 main programs, one being the Housing Choice Voucher Program, most known as Section 8. For this one, you're going to have to find a property on your own and use a voucher to pay all or part of the rent. This program requires for you to fill out an application, a phone or in-person interview, undergo a background check of income, employment, and etc. And it also requires for the property to meet certain qualifications and to undergo an inspection prior to moving in and signing a lease. So those are like the overall huge differences of Section 8 and the in-housing program. Now I'm gonna go ahead and leave, I'll probably leave it down here somewhere or somewhere on the page where you can find this information, but I actually found it on USA.gov, and there's a lot of good information on that website. That's where I kind of want to navigate you guys to first, is to go to that website. Literally, they have everything there, from being able to help you find an apartment, helping you find housing, helping you with your credit score, helping you discover if you have any kind of lost money out there that is owed to you. So this website has lots of great information and helpful tools that no one really tells you about. So just make sure that you're using all of your resources when making a huge decision like this. But yeah, I actually found a lot of great information on this website, so make sure you check it out. Again, I'm gonna go ahead and leave it down below or somewhere on the screen for you guys to go ahead and check it out. Let's go ahead and start off with tip number one, is be patient, okay? Because I'm here to tell you right now, if you think that you're finna go on Zillow.com or rent.com and find these apartments for the amount that I'm about to show you guys, they're not on there. Trust me, I've already tried. It's not on there. So it's going to take a little patience and effort to actually find these apartments. So that is tip number one. Tip number two, if you're planning on actually moving out, the best time to rent an apartment is the beginning of winter. Now, I actually did a video on this previously about tips on when you're finding apartments, so I'll go ahead and leave a card somewhere at the top of this video. But when you're looking for an apartment, just be mindful that seasons do matter. A lot of times in the beginning of the winter season, so like November and December, it's going to be a lot slower in that time frame. So landlords are a lot more willing to work with you on the price, or maybe even offer like specials around that time, just because it is a lot slower during the winter months. So when I first started looking for my apartment, I knew an idea of what I wanted. I'm very particular and kind of bougie when it comes to my living quarters, but at the same time I'm really broke, so I couldn't afford. I knew I wanted something really nice, but I knew I couldn't afford what I wanted. A few things that I search when I look into Google or Bing or whatever your preferred method of search is, I start off by doing affordable luxury apartments, and then I do the zip code. If you know the zip code in the area of which you want to stay in, that is a better search versus being very generic. So I would do affordable luxury apartments in 75 blank blank blank, you know, whatever it may be, instead of doing affordable apartments in Dallas. Dallas is very broad. You're going to get so many search results back from doing that, versus if you narrow it down, you'll get better results. Now, also, when you do the search for these apartments, you're going to get a lot of different results back, and not every one of these apartments are going to participate in the program. Again, like I said, this is not an easy thing to find. If it were easy, then everybody would be living the life of luxury. So again, just be patient with it. If you do find some apartments that come up in the search, go ahead and click on that website, and now I'm going to tell you exactly what to look for as indicators that they do accept the HUD, or they are a participant in the in-housing program. In addition to that, just a few other things before we move on to the indicators of the website. You can search affordable luxury apartments in whatever the area code may be. You can search inexpensive luxury apartments in and then I do like in-housing luxury apartments in whatever the zip code is. Luxury efficiency apartments in whatever it may be. So those are just a few things that I use to search on Google or Bing. I'll go ahead and leave those somewhere on the screen for you guys to see. Now we're gonna go ahead and move on to key indicators on the websites that'll show you that a apartment participates in HUD or in the in-housing program. So the first apartment that I want to show you guys, and these are actual live examples of apartments that are currently on the market in my area that participate in the HUD program. So this is an apartment by the name of the Mayflower, and again, this is in Dallas, Texas. I started this research shortly after Christmas, so this particular offer is now expired, but it says that you can get an affordable apartment home for $950, or if you wanted the parking included with it, $1,057. So those are just, you know, fortunately for us, this one actually just kind of popped up right away. We didn't have to do much searching on it, but I'm going to go ahead and go into a little bit more depth to show you guys exactly what you're looking for when you go onto these websites. So here we just have the main page of the actual apartment, and the first thing that I look for is like an about me section. Some apartments do have them. They'll have it right off the bat where they kind of do like an introduction. Think of it as a cover page for your resume, if you will. This particular one does not have it, but oftentimes you'll find in the about me on the main page of the apartment is again just like a generalization of the apartments. So you're looking for words like efficiency, affordable for all, something for all, you know, some keywords along that line that will give you an indication that they will participate in the HUD program. Now, if you don't find it right away off of the main page, another indicator is the floor plan. Now, ideally, if an apartment participates or a luxury apartment participates in the HUD programming, then the apartments that they'll have under that programming will be somewhere under 600 square feet. Very seldom will you find an apartment, a luxury apartment that participates in the HUD program that's over 600 square feet. Now, the price that's currently listed, it's showing a 573 square foot apartment, one bedroom apartment at $1,225. That is never going to be the price. So when you do find your apartment and it has a square footage and it's under 600 square feet, but it has an amount of $1,225, always double check and fact check that with the apartment itself. At this point, you would want to go ahead and contact them to see if they participate in the HUD. This particular apartment, they also, if you go up to the more info section of this website, they actually had it to where they made it very easy for us to locate the information, which is one thing that I really liked about this website. You didn't have to do too much searching for it. Again, it's right under more info at the bottom where it says affordable options. Here you'll find all of the qualifications for the programming. Again, this is another one that has a different name. They're calling it in-town housing for a one bedroom, and they're doing it for 12 months at $1,057 right now. This particular one has a minimum income that you have to have at least $28,500. I do want to give you guys fair warning that not all apartments are like this. In fact, this is one, I believe this is the only one that I personally found that had a minimum restriction. It has pretty much all of the qualifications at the bottom here, and then it tells you to go ahead and give them a call for more information. When I did contact them, this is the information that they gave me, and this information was given to me as of January the 5th. So this is the most recent information on this apartment. Particular apartment, they did currently have another special running for $975, where parking is either $100 a month, an additional $100 a month, let me make that clear, or an additional $200 a month for reserve parking. This particular apartment, they do require for you to have renter's insurance, and they do also participate in valet trash. Again, that's something that I go into full detail about on another video that I've done previously. I'll leave the link in the description box for you guys. This apartment wasn't really for me. I didn't like the location of it. It is still downtown. I just didn't personally personally like the location. I also didn't like all of the rules and the additional fees that were tacked on to the rent that would increase the rent past what I was willing to pay for it. And I did like the layout of the particular apartment personally myself, but again, this is totally up to you. I just didn't really like the vibe of it, but I did like the fact that downstairs they had a few different restaurants. They had a nail salon, and it was close to the DART rail station, so that was good. But personally, it just was not the place for me, but I did want to include it in this video just for you guys to go ahead and check it out and see that this was an option. So the next apartment that we're going to get into is called Lone Star Gas Lofts, or LSG Lofts for short. This is another luxury apartment that's located downtown Dallas. Well, actually, it's not an apartment, it's a loft, but another property that accepts HUD programming. This is an apartment that actually has the information that we're looking for right on the main page in the about section. Now again, like I said, it is going to take a little digging for you guys to locate. If you look closely, it's actually in the third paragraph where it says these downtown Dallas lofts have a price point for everyone. Again, that is a key indicator that they accept the HUD programming. And then it says they range in a size from a 565 square foot efficiency. Again, another indicator, that's actually two. It says the 565, which is under 600 square feet, and it also has efficiency. So this is actually a go property for us. I wanted to see pricing of like the average apartment. I did want to see like the average or like the going rate for a regular apartment, but as you can see, they didn't have any pricing on here. Once you go to floor plans, again, there's another indicator at the top of like the description of the floor plans where it says ranges in size from 565 square foot efficiency. Now, looking over this, they don't actually have it listed on here. So again, this is another apartment that you're going to need to call. Most apartments you're going to need to call to get this information, just FYI for you guys. You're going to have to call to get the information. Now, I did take the liberty of doing that for you guys if you're interested in this particular apartment, just to kind of give you a basis of what you're looking at. Did not have any of the 565 square foot apartments available right now. So again, because they did not, that means that this is going to be a little bit more on what I would consider pricey. Right now they had two available apartments. One is an efficiency 657 square foot, and they also have a 677 square foot. The 677 square foot is going for $1,087, while the 657 square feet is going for $1,103. I did ask the reason why, and it's because the 657 square foot has a better view than the 677 square foot, so it would be up to you to decide which one you'd like. There is a deposit of $500 that would need to be made, and if you decided to go ahead and lease this apartment, half would be needed up front. They do have a $100 admin fee, a $50